All right, shalom, shalom. First, I want to give all praise to Abanawi Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Kradash. It brought me to the elders and apostles of the millstone. We taught us to do the spirit, peace, much love, and salutations to the hope of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latino, and American, drug children, Israel, according to the Bible, how to got to sleep in 2021. Hasten day of Kamala Yahushai. All right, and this video is on, it's titled, Think with Your Higher Conscience. Think with the higher conscience. And that higher conscience is the spirit. Think spiritually and not carnally, because when you think carnally, and you're not gonna make it too far. But when you think spiritually, you understand what's happening because it's from the Heavenly Father. That's when you tap into your higher self of thinking. When you tap into that God-like mind frame, because being here in these bodies, you deal with certain situations at times, and you would tend to think more or less on the physical sense, instead of thinking on the spiritual sense and seeing things spiritually for what they are. That's that higher self. That's the higher you. But the lower you is this flesh that makes you think carnally, that makes you think with your emotions and your feelings. And we have to learn on how to let these things go to become proper judges. All right. But this is the first scripture. This is Galatians 5:17. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit. Let me start at verse 16. This I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. So if you walk in the spirit, you're not gonna fulfill the lust of the flesh, and the things of the flesh are unprofitable. The things of the flesh make you bug out and go off. See, but the things of the spirit keep your mind right, and you're able to judge things soundly. You're able to judge things better. You're able to be wise. You're able to use etiquette. You're able to move with edification. You're able to be on a higher level because you're thinking with your higher self. Okay, so you're not going to feel the lust of your lower self because you're thinking with your higher intelligence, which is the third eye, which is the spirit. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. So it's a fight. So it's a fight between the spirit and the flesh, because they're enemies. Your flesh is the enemy of your spirit, and your spirit is the enemy of your flesh. Okay, because your flesh wants you to do one thing, but your spirit wants you to do the other. That's why we go through these battles within ourselves, and we fight and grow within ourselves, because we're fighting the fight every single day between the spirit and the flesh. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit and the flesh, and these are contrary one to another, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. But if ye be led of the spirit, ye are not under the law. And that's speaking of, like I said, if you are the spirit, they're not for under the law, because Yahweh Shai is spiritual, and He gave us a spiritual law, which was His sacrifice of Himself, sacrifice unto the nation of Israel. But that ye be led of the spirit, we have to be led of the spirit, and the spirit is, like I said, thinking with that higher intelligence. So when you go into an issue, you can judge it with that higher mind frame and not with the flesh, because the flesh is the mind. It gets you going. It gets you going off. It gets you thinking of certain things you shouldn't be thinking. It got you uptight. It got you angry. It got you upset. It got you thinking like a basically of a nigga. All right, but when you think spiritually, you like, all right, hold on. Let me see what's going on. Let me fix this. Let me see that. Let me do this. Let me do that. You got. Let me make this decision better. Let me sit on this. Let me chill out. Let me just let this shit just go. Let me just deal with this better. That's thinking with the higher you. Your flesh is the first thing you think of, but your second thought is that spiritual thought. Your first thought is of the flesh. The second thought is of the spirit, because the second thought makes more sense than the first thought. But you go off the first thought because the flesh, you're in the flesh, so you're gonna go off the first thought. But the second thought is that spiritual thought. Is that, hold on, wait, hold on, what's this going on? You know what I'm saying? Then you add up with the scriptures. Then you do certain things, and then if you can't, you gotta pray. Then you have to pray to Heavenly Father to let you see it. Then when the Heavenly Father let you see it, then you can judge it. Then you can understand what it is that you're going through. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which these adultery, fornication, uncleanness, so adultery, fornication, which are all the same thing. Homosexuality, bestiality, a man sleeping with another man, a man sleeping with another man's woman. That's adultery. That's fornication. All right. Unnatural acts of sex. Okay. uncleanness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred. When you have hatred, when you're upset, that's of the flesh. Hatred. You know, when you're always mad, when you're mad about something, hatred, vengeance, wrath, strife. So wrath and strife. So when you're in the flesh, you first thing to think, you in wrath, you're upset. So you're thinking emotionally. And then some of this comes with jealousy. You know, you be jealous of a situation, you be mad about something, then you take it on something else, then you take it about another thing. That's of the flesh. Because you're letting your issues weigh you down. You're letting your flesh overtake your spirit. Because you're thinking with the carnal mind. That's why the carnal mind is death. Now I went to the verse 22. But if ye of the fruits, but the fruits of the spirit, love, joy, peace, long suffering. So if you're in the spirit, you understand that it's going to be long suffering. You understand that, okay, if I'm going through this situation, it's long suffering. It's to make me better. See, and then it brings peace when you understand that it's the Heavenly Father ultimately putting you through it. Then you get peace. Then you get a peace of mind. Then you understand you by no man, it's the Lord, bro. It's the Heavenly Father. This is the Heavenly Father doing this. So therefore, it puts you in a sound mind. The Lord got me going through this for a reason. Those scriptures say that the Heavenly Father is long suffering. The Heavenly Father is very long suffering, man. All right, He's very long suffering. So love, joy, peace, long suffering, gladness, godliness, faith, meekness, temperance. Look at this word temperance. All right, because these are the things that fall after the Spirit give you. You know, long suffering, long suffering, things of that nature. Those are the things that's gonna keep you going in this truth and this knowledge, keep you going in Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. It's long suffering because you're gonna go through a lot of different trials, tribulations. But when you're going through those trials, tribulations, and you see those things carnally, you're gonna stray right off of the path. See, but that's the reason why Yahweh Bashem Yahushua has us going through these things. Okay, let me get this word for temperance. The definition of the word temperance. Okay, self-control. See, the Spirit teaches you self-control. That's temperance. To control yourself, even when the situation might look fucked up. Hold up, self-control. You know how to control yourself. You gotta know when to control yourself. You gotta know when to calm yourself down, man. That's the Spirit, and the Spirit is all wisdom. It's all knowledge. So when you have temperance, you have self-control of you. You have self-awareness. You're able to see what's going on. Like, hold up, this ain't acting. Look, if you have an individual in your life that ain't acting right, hold up. There's a reason why. So you gotta be spiritual. Like, first of all, that's a demon. That's Satan. And then you gotta be like self-control. Let me examine it. Leave this shit alone, man. Let it just go. That's thinking with your higher self. But now when you in the flesh, you tripping, you bugging out, you don't know what to do. You making dumb decisions. You doing all types of shit, but because you're thinking carnally. But let me go back to this again. This Galatians 4:22. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long suffering, gladness, godliness, faith, meekness, and temperance. So let's get a little bit more of this word temperance real quick. Temperance, self-control, the virtue of one who mastered his decision. So you need to master your decisions. Your decision in life, you need to master that. But that comes with wisdom. That comes with time. See, that comes with time, man. You need to be able to master your own decisions. That's temperance. That's following up the Spirit. So when you're able to follow when you're able to make better decisions. Let me read this again. Definition for the word temperance: self-control, the virtue of one who mastered his decision and position, Salakia. So when you master your decisions, you make sound decisions, you make good decisions, but you judge them off the Spirit. But when you go off the flesh, it's not right. It's off. You be all off because it's fleshly, because you're seeing it as a whatever you're seeing it. But when you sit back and like I said again, when you look at it spiritually, you understand, this is the Lord. This is the Heavenly Father doing this to me. See, the Heavenly Father has this individual bugging out. Heavenly Father has this situation for me to help me grow to become a better man of the Lord, to help me become a better leader, to be all those things. So now I'm seeing what I need to work on. And then you get praise unto Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. That's sticking with the higher self. And that's what we need to become as we're growing in this truth. As you're growing in this truth, you're going to go through certain things, but these things are to show you on how to properly deal with situations when they come to you. Okay? So love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gladness, godliness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. And they that are Hamashi, they are of Hamashiach, have crucified the flesh with the affliction and lust. If we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. Let us not desire of vainglory, provoking one another, envying one another. And that's it. So provoking one another, you can provoke an individual. You can provoke a brother. Right, you can deal with a brother unwisely because you're lacking that proper understanding. You know, you're lacking the Spirit. And then does that mean you're not a man of the Lord? That don't mean you're not a man of the Lord. That means you have to learn. See, because right now we're learning. You know, we're going through these experiences on your own. And that's what Scripture say of Philippians. Let me get that real quick. 2:12. Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling, because in the day, this is your walk. So you have to measure yourself according to who you are as a person. And you know what? I'm about to get this first because this is one of my favorite scriptures also. 1 Corinthians, it's like 12. This 1 Corinthians 12, 13, and 5. Examine yourself whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own self. So the word examine means test of faith. And it means one to stand the test. And it goes into character. So if you examine yourself, you got to examine the test. You got to look over the test and be like, okay, I see the test that's in my face. I'm examining, I'm looking at it. Now, am I dealing with it properly? Am I dealing with the answer on this test properly? Did I study for the test? Did I build myself up long enough that I can deal with these situations and the issues, right? Examine yourself whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own self. So you have to prove to yourself. And this whole thing is about proving to your own self that you can do this, you know, that you are meant for this, that you can be the man of the Lord that you're supposed to be. That's proving yourself. Because every time you pass a test, you prove to yourself that hey, I got through that. That was a test, and I examined it, and I got through that. All it was a test of faith to see how much are you growing? Are you growing? Are you getting better? You know, are you learning more? Are you understanding who you are? Are you growing in the truth? Are you becoming a better man of the Lord? That's the examine. But we read that temperance was what? Self-control. And one that mastered his own decisions. And that's hard to do. But we can do it through the Spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. We just have to believe it. But let me go. Examine yourself whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves. That Yahushua Hamashiach is in you, except you be reprobates. So you need to understand and know that Yahushua is in you. Except you be reprobate. Be most likely put you in a reprobate state of mind. But you need to be able to examine yourself and prove your own self worthy. That you can pass these different tests and these different things that come your way. Because as a man of the Lord, these things are going to always be here. And let me get this real quick in Romans 3. I believe it's 3. Or if it's not, it's Salakia. I think it's 5 and 3. This is Romans 5. It's Romans 5 and 3. And not only so, but we glory in tribulation, also knowing that tribulation worketh patience, and patience experience hope. So we knowing that tribulations worketh experience. And that's the whole thing. This is what this thing is about. It's about gaining spiritual experience. So therefore now, And not only so, but we glory in tribulation. Why do you glory in tribulation? Because you're going through a situation. Tribulation is better. When you're going through hell, it's a good thing, right? And not only so, but we glory in tribulation, also knowing that tribulation worketh patience. So when you go through tribulation, it's working patience, because you got to see that whole thing out. You got to feel the whole entire spectrum. You got to see the whole thing for what it is. And you have to understand what you're going through is for a reason. And it's suffering and long suffering. So you might feel the pain for a week, 2 weeks, a month. But once it's over, you've gained godly wisdom. You've got godly edifying through the sufferings, right? And not only so, but we glory in tribulation, also knowing that tribulation worketh patience, experience, and experience hope. So therefore, when you go through something, it gains experience and experience hope. What is hope? Hope is faith, evidence of things not seen, because that experience moves you more closer to the hope of the kingdom. That's moving you closer to hope for Yahweh to return. Because the more hell you go through, you learn more patience, then you learn more experience, then through that experience you learn more hope. You learn more hope. And what is that? And it's in the scriptures. You learn more wisdom and understanding, more hope, more faith. Because all hope means is faith. So you gain more faith through the hell you go through, man. You know? And that's and the why Yahweh Bashem Yahushai for that. And that's when you're coming to become a better man of the Lord, and you became what they said, you become a master, okay, of oneself. You know, you need to master yourself, and you need to think with the godly mind frame, and let go of your lower self, because your lower self is of the flesh. Is this is what keeps us down, but your higher self is what's going to elevate you. You're going to become better in the truth and the knowledge of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So I pray that was edifying to hopefully elect. So with that, we'll give our praise to Abanawi Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Yahushai. With that, Shalom.